think when you look at Israel today, there's a number of sectors where there's opportunities to invest. One of the key areas where we're finding opportunities is in the consumer sector, in particular consumer staples such as supermarket chains and the like.
Within the sector, the strengths we look for amongst the supermarket operators are companies that have strong management teams with a clear sense of strategy and pricing, a disciplined approach to store expansion, and in particular, strong relationships with suppliers that help to generate healthy cash flow and maintain a strong, robust balance sheet.
We believe Israel offers great investment opportunity. Part of the rationale for that is the demographic profile of Israel.
The population is growing at a steady 2%, and unemployment has been steady for some years at around 7%. More importantly, though, the labour participation rate has been growing as members of the Arab and ultra-Orthodox population join the labour force, and this is positive for economic growth.
Domestic-oriented companies such as telecommunications companies, supermarket operators, food producers, they all stand to benefit from those positive demographic trends.
Exclusion from emerging market indices has spelt a loss in trading volumes for the Israeli market. And this has meant a slimmer coverage of Israeli stocks, which makes the work of fund managers able to visit the companies on the ground and engage with management actively all the more vital. However, focusing on the loss of trading volumes loses sight of the major point, which is the upgrade. One of the corollaries of Israel being upgraded to developed market status has been for investors to ponder its correlation with markets such as the US and the Eurozone.
Israel's main export partners are the EU, the USA and Asia. And over the last few years, Europe's had its problems and Israel has not been immune to that. However, the economy has been very resilient. We also take some comfort from the fact that Israel's export partners are increasingly diverse. So we see our companies growing and expanding their footprint into emerging markets, particularly Asia and Latin America.
According to IMF estimates, it is amongst the fastest growing of the advanced economies, with estimated growth over the next 3 years of 3.5% to 4%.
Aberdeen's investment process is about finding companies that work for you as a shareholder and have good long-term prospects. And I think in the case of Israel, where there's some wonderful companies to choose from, but there's also some very bad companies to potentially invest in, you want a system or process which helps you identify the right companies and stick with those companies through the good and bad times.
Within the last few years, there have been large discoveries of natural gas off the coast of Israel, and these are significant for the Israeli economy and for Israel itself.
Israel's supply of natural gas had until April come from a field nearby named Yam Tethys. However, the field was depleted and therefore supply was stuttering. Since April, however, good news has come in the form of the first flows from a field named Tamar, after approximately $3 billion of investment.
In terms of the impact on our companies within the portfolio, we don't hold any of the oil and gas producers directly, but we still expect to see some benefit in our companies' results as they face much lower energy costs as a result of the lower cost natural gas becoming available.
In the short term, Israeli equities face some headwinds. There's issues with their major trade partners and the potential ramifications that has for growth within Israel. There's issues with the region in that they have a number of conflicts going on their doorstep, which they may be dragged into. There's issues with the government in that they have a coalition that may or may not survive. And of course, they have a more corporate restructuring going on led by the central bank. Longer term, we think the outlook for Israeli equities is good, based on the companies. We have some companies who are benefiting from technology trends and the growth of technology across the world. We have a strong domestic consumption base and companies which are benefiting from that.
Israel has this culture of innovation and there's a real entrepreneurial spirit among many Israelis. And that means that many interesting and unique companies incubate in Israel and grow and become successful internationally. And we believe that those are great opportunity in terms of investment potential for us.